So welcome to Tales from the Forecourt, and this week's tale takes us back to the summer of 2019. Record heat waves had hit the UK and the Jeremy Kyle show had just been axed. But most importantly, I decided to take my first ever proper holiday during the car key era, but not before buying lots of cars, because yes, in true Jamie fashion, I can't help myself, I couldn't stop myself, and I'd bought plenty of vehicles so that the business would remain fully stocked in my absence. The cars all arrived, the transporters were turning up, and one particular car that I'd bought, which I knew wouldn't last long, was a lovely BMW 3 Series convertible, in white no less, an absolute guaranteed seller. So off I went on my holiday. Now in my absence, very quickly, the guys took an inquiry on the car. Gentleman, I use the term gentleman, this guy was not a gentleman, but we'll come on to that in a minute, but he applied for finance and managed to scrape through by the skin of his teeth. We had multiple addresses, it was a bit touch and go whether it would happen, but ultimately the deal got done over the phone and he arranged to come and pick the car up on a busy Saturday. Now at handover, the gentleman was a creature. He was not very nice and he dealt with Andy. While dealing with Andy, he suggested that Andy Googled him, that it would be quite important that Andy knew who he was, like he was some kind of big shot.
Hey, big shot.
Big time guy. Well, obviously he collected the car and off he went, and Andy duly checked the internet. Alarmingly, this gentleman had been an accessory to a murder. He'd also been involved in an arson, but more worryingly, he'd stolen various cars from various car dealerships over the years. This obviously doesn't sound promising at this stage, and it gets significantly worse. One of his most high-profile car thefts involved going on a test drive in a Volkswagen Transporter with an unsuspecting salesman. Halfway through test drive, the salesman duly pulled into a car park and got out of the vehicle to walk round expecting the customer to do the same. So our customer was sat in the passenger seat, and rather than getting out of the car, he literally slid across onto the driver's seat and locked the doors. As the salesman was walking round and looked up and realised what was happening, Matt then accelerated and ran him over. Yes, he ran the salesman over, giving him life-changing injuries. So, we've sold this guy a car. Brilliant. I came back from holiday. I obviously chatted with the team about what had happened in my absence, and Andy thought it was particularly important to tell me about this guy from the outset. I thought nothing of it. I thought it's fine, he's done, he's gone, we'll never see him again. But we did. I took a call from him, probably about a week after I'd returned, saying how unhappy he was with some of the issues with his vehicle and that we'd better get them sorted. Now at this stage I thought, do you know what? Fine, he's got some issues with his car, let's forget what you know about him, let's just treat him like any other customer, and if he's got some problems, let's get them resolved. First issue, he had a problem with his air conditioning, but his second, more worrying issue was that he was complaining that his tyres were losing air. Now, if you know the BMW 3 Series and the 19-inch wheels that they come on, those wheels are pretty much made of glass. So again, it wasn't unexpected that he may have an issue with his wheel. We got him booked into a garage that we deal with, and they duly lent him a Vauxhall Zafira loan car, which, in typical fashion, was not good enough for him and he was unhappy about. I reasoned with him, I kept him happy, and I made sure that the work was carried out quickly. Air conditioning got fixed and the wheels were fully refurbished, needed a weld, needed repairing, got done. We got him back in his car. About a week later, he rang again to complain, and I'm thinking not again. This time was that he'd lost air in his tyres again, and what were we going to effing do about it? So again, I thought, fine, we'll get it sorted. The car was parked outside his missus's house. So the plan was, we'd get over there, we'd jack the car up, we had another wheel comparable to the car, we'd put a wheel on with a tyre, we'd take the other wheel away, we'd get it fixed, repaired and bring it back. However, once we'd got to his house, the car had been parked so close to the curb in an awkward position that we couldn't jack it up and remove the wheel. So we had to recover his car, which we did. Lent him a car again. Car got fixed. Car got returned. Few weeks later, he rang again to say he had an issue with his engine and he thought that it needed a new engine. At this stage, I started to get the impression he just wanted out of the car and he was just looking for an exit. He offered very helpfully that his friend owned a breaker's yard and that he could source an engine and he could have the work done himself. And we just need to send him £3,500 or £4,000 to get the work done. Or we could just, reverse the deal, unwind the deal and let him go. Now, pride kicked in at this point, and I thought, no, you ain't having us over. You ain't having us over. I said, no problem. Why don't you get the car recovered to us? You can take it to one of the garages we use for warranty work, and we'll get the work carried out for you. So I'll make sure there is a nice vehicle waiting for you at the garage. I did not want him coming back to site. I did not want to meet this creature. I had no interest in ever seeing him again. So he dropped the car off. Now, I got a call from the workshop a little bit later on to explain to me that the vehicle had been dropped off and it looked like it had been literally completely overfilled with oil. The workshop also mentioned to me that upon arrival, Matt walked in with a white-faced RAC guy who looked like he was in a hostage situation. You know, the type where it's like blink once if you're okay, blink twice if you're in danger. Well, he was double blinking like you wouldn't believe. And then what he said to the garage when he got there was, oh, it looks like there's a problem with my car. And the RAC inspector just nodded, looking white. The workshop reported to me that clearly it looked like he'd sabotaged his own vehicle. At this stage, I'm really starting to question, why are we carrying on with this? Why are we doing this? What are we doing? We source an engine, we order an engine. This process takes about a month. During this time, we got a speeding ticket miles away. I think it was near Scotland, in the car that we'd lent him, an Audi A4, which was worrying. We forwarded the speeding ticket on. I thought nothing more of it. Finally, his vehicle is ready. And we rang him and he was due to come and collect his car and drop off our Audi on a Saturday. He no-showed. He reappointed for the following week, which thankfully was my weekend off. I'm enjoying a nice Saturday off. I've gone to the cinema with my wife. I'm at a shopping centre. And then Craig rings. Hello? It's Jamie. I was like, what? He said, look, I think we've been robbed. I said, you what? He said, yeah, I think we've been robbed. And I think Matt's robbed a car off us. I was like, right, what's happened? He went, look, he's turned up. He's took Andy and Craig outside to show them round the car. Whilst outside, he said, I just need to go to the toilet. And he's gone back inside the showroom. At this stage, we had an area of the showroom where we had some vehicle keys on hooks. Now, unbeknownst to the guys, what he's done at this stage is he's taken a key off the hook. He's gone round the front. He'd got an accomplice waiting for him. He's chucked them the key, come back inside. He's picked his car up. He's driven off, and one of his friends has ran, got in a Mercedes parked on the front and driven off. There was a flag down on the car park, and there was a big gap at the front of the site. And I'm starting to fume. I'm starting to seethe. So I've said to the lads, well, have you spoken to him? I said, he's not answering. I said, listen, you need to ring him and just tell him to bring the car back. Just need to ring him and tell him to bring our car back. They said, well, we've tried and he won't answer. At this point, I'm starting to really fume. And I've gone through a wave of emotions. I've gone through anger. I've gone through denial. No, he's not nicked it. He's clearly just taken it for a test drive. He'll be back in a minute. I've then gone to fear. I'm thinking, if he can take one car, he can take every car. He can come and steal my house. I've gone through bitterness. I've gone through sadness. I've gone through every emotion possible. And I'm struggling to work out what to do. So I've then said to Andy, you need to message this guy and you need to tell him that he's not in trouble. It's not going to be a problem, but he needs to tell us where the car is so that we can go and collect it. Just needs to tell us where we can go and collect it, and you need to let him know that we've got him on film taking keys, which we did, and all he needs to do is tell us the location and nothing more will happen. he's replied with this. Yeah, what a piece of work. So at this stage, I'm seething. I had a really bad night's sleep. So I've gone into work on the Sunday wanting to show some support to the team. The first thing I did was I went to the car that we'd lent in, and it was a mess. He'd done about 5,500 or 6,000 miles in it. There was a big scuff on the corner, but as I looked at the dashboard, it was covered in powder, and I could see little line marks. And I was like, yeah, this isn't nice. Look round the car, then I've found some number plate tape in there. And I've seen strips of tape on the plates. So this guy's clearly been driving this car around with fake number plates on it. Plot thickens. This stage, I'm questioning, what can I do? I'm like, right, I'm ringing him. I'm just going to ring him off a number and he isn't going to know who it is. So I rang him and he's answered. I says, Matt, it's Jamie. I says, listen, buddy, I need my car back. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, listen, Matt. I started thinking on my feet. I thought, who, how, and what can I do to get my car back? So I started to concoct a story. I said, listen, Matt, this business is not mine. You think a fat lad from Spondon, a fat car salesman, owns this business? It's a front. And let me tell you, Matt, the guy I work for, he doesn't know what's happened yet. But he's not going to be happy. I started to believe the story myself. I says, Matt, I haven't told him. Now I'm going to be in big trouble because of what's happened, but it's going to pale in comparison to what's going to happen to you. So Matt, please, for your sake, for my sake, for everybody's sake, please, just tell me where the car is. We can get it picked up. No one else has to get involved. No one's going to get in trouble, and we'll get it sorted. And he cracked. Wobbled him. He went, what do you... I said, listen, Matt, mate, please, you don't need to ask questions. Just tell me where the car is. He went, you ain't messing me around, are you? I'm like, no. At this point in my head, I'm like, the Oscar is being handed to me for the greatest performance on the planet. He went, right, give me a minute and I'll ring you back with the location. I was like, I've got him. Anyway, 5 minutes passes, 10 minutes passes, 15 minutes passes, 20 minutes passes, half an hour passes, an hour passes. I tried to ring him back and he didn't answer. He just bumped my call. Like, he's done me again. He's done me. I was like, right, lads, assemble. We're going to get the car back. The lads are saying to me, how are we going to find him? I was like, we've got his address. Plus we've got his previous address. And we've got his parents' address where he insisted on the car being registered to. Plus, we've got his missus's address where he had the flat tyre incident. We're going to go and get the car back, boys. We're going to get the car back. So off we trotted to Leicester. It was getting dark. We headed to Leicester. We went to address number 1, his missus's address. There's no one there. But we drove our cars up and down the roads nearby, keeping our eyes open for this Mercedes-Benz that was missing, thinking he's probably going to have a set of plates on it, driving up and down the road, hitting the button for the remote to see if we could see a flash. No joy. We then went to address number 1. Again, same again. We were driving around the streets, looping around, going further and further out, thinking this clown's parked it up the road. Again, clicking the button on the remote. Nothing. We went to the 3rd address. Again, trying to find there was a car park nearby. I went in the car park. We got to the car park. Someone's like, there's a Mercedes over it. Wasn't it. We're clicking the button, we're trying to find. Still no joy. Then we went to his parents' address. Which was awkward. And we didn't go and knock. We could see there was no one home. Again, we were driving around, starting to lose faith, lose hope. Never going to get the car back. And then Andy remembered, I've got his old driving licence. There's another address on here. We're like, this is it. We're going to get him. We're going to get the car back. So we went to his final address. And guess what? We couldn't find the car. At this point, Team 2 were like, we've got to get back. We need to get home. So off they went. Just left me and Craig. Just me and Craig in a car. We're thinking, what can we do? This guy's had us. He's had us over. He's had us over, what are we going to do? And then we remembered. His friend had the breaker's yard. Probably a chop shop. The car was going to be at the breaker's yard. So we headed to a remote village on the outskirts of Leicester. It's me and Craig at this point. It's black. Pitch black. We saw this breaker's yard. Parked up. Got out. iPhone torches on. Thinking the car's got to be in here. At this point again we're clicking the button. Holding the remote to the head for that old technique where it enhances the beam. Thinking something's going to flash. Can't see anything. Anyway, I can hear a noise. As I look behind me, Craig's pulled himself up. He's on the top of the wall. He's scaling the perimeter. He's going to go in. And as Craig's on the wall, I can hear what can only be described as the world's largest Alsatian start barking and banging for behind. Craig nearly falls off, jumps down. We start to panic. We got back in the car. We drove home. Tails firmly between our legs. I even tried to ring him again. Absolute shit stain. Didn't answer. Bumped my call. So the next morning, I thought I just need to ring someone who's maybe connected in this world. Somebody who's involved in this world. Someone who can just make something happen. Because let's be right, I'm a pussy. So I made a call. Friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. I got a call back. Explained the situation, offered a bounty for the return of the car, got told, don't you worry, I've got some boys in Leicester, leave it with me, you get your car back. Get a call 15 minutes later, I was like, how'd you get on? He went, yeah, he hung up on me as well and he ain't answering his phone, this guy's brave. I was like, right, what can I do? So it's Monday, we've drawn a blank. We've pretended the business is a front for some evil overlord and he needs to get us the car back. Didn't wash. We've tried ringing him multiple times. No. We've gone to Leicester. We've tried to find the car. We've hit multiple addresses. We've gone to what we think's a chop shop to try and get the car back. We've still not got the car. We've used the final boss cheat code. We've rang a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. Mr. Big. He's drawn a blank. What else can we do at this stage? So I picked the phone up, I rang my insurance company, I thought I just need to tell them what's happened. And do you know what they said? Alright Jamie, no problem. We'll send you a form over, get it filled in, let us know if you've spent any prep on it, and magically, we had a £2,000 prep bill for that car as well. Send it over and we'll get you paid out. And literally within 7 days we'd been paid back in full. All the drama for nothing. All the drama for nothing. We were paid and we were put back in the position we were in prior to the incident. Anyway, what happened to Matt? Well, Matt went down. After a long police investigation, he was clearly on their radar and he'd been caught doing other things as well. He went down. And I tell you what, if he ever comes back to Khaki again, he's going down again. He's going down again. Why? Because we've got a state-of-the-art CCTV system and a secure safe. So again, if he tries to steal a car, he'll get caught. Because if it comes down to it with me, I'll do nothing. I'll do nothing. I'm going to do nothing. But anyway, so what happened to him? And why should I be warning the motor trade about this guy now? Since his release, he has been out and about and up to his old tricks again. Various posts on the car dealer groups that I'm in have shown that he's up to his old tricks. So just to say, team, stay vigilant. Stay vigilant. You've got to be vigilant at all times in this trade. You never know what's going to happen. So what are the 3 takeaways from today's Tales from the Forecourt? First of all, be vigilant. Make sure you don't leave keys hanging around. You know, temptation. If it's there, a wrong un's going to try and take advantage and steal a car, steal your money, steal your stuff. Remain vigilant at all times. Secondly, if somebody comes in to buy a car off you, volunteers information about Googling them so you know who they are, just don't sell a car to an arsonist, attempted murderer, car salesman runner over and serial car thief. Just don't sell them a car. It's a bad idea. Don't get involved. And finally, if this situation happens to you again, don't pretend to be a front for a Mr. Big. Don't ring a Mr. Big. Don't turn up in Leicester, driving around the streets, trying to find the car. Don't try and break into a breaker's yard, which I'm sure is a perfectly honest breaker's yard and not an illegal chop shop, and nearly get your balls bitten off by a giant dog. Just ring your insurance company. Let them take care of it. Let them pay you out. Yeah, your policy next year might go up, but you can save yourself a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, and a lot of drama. So that's it for this week's Tales from the Forecourt. Let us know in the comments section below if you've ever had a car stolen off you, and we'll see you next time on Tales from the Forecourt. But before you go, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and thanks for viewing. And then suddenly I could hear what can only be described as the most horrific sounding Dalmatian, fuck me,